Namaste, everyone, and welcome to the second Anchor Light for Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, right? Okay, before we start, let's ask for blessing. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, we humbly ask for your blessings. Personally, to my teacher, Master Tuakok Sui Maha Mailing, we thank you for divine light, divine love. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for healing, help, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith, and so it is. All right, so I hope you were able to watch the morning session or the earlier session where we talk about the importance of sharpening your mind, the importance of reading. Just to recap, the title is, what's the title anyway? A person who doesn't like to read is almost the same as someone who does not know how to read. So because by reading, we learn, we sharpen our minds, and the intuition has something to work with. Okay, this is just a recap of this morning. Because a lot of times people are very intuitive. Intuitive as in you get signals. Your antenna is very, very tuned into high frequency. Great. The question is your hardware sufficiently developed to interpret what comes in? And I notice a lot of people on the spiritual path, that is the limitation. You know why? Because they don't study. They think, I'll rely on that signal coming in. Nobody's disputing that you have signals coming in. The question is, what do you do with it? It takes a sharp mind to balance the intuition and the intellect. Okay? So just want to put it out there. Now, to take it one step further, there's one more ingredient that needs to be in there. It's called silence. Okay? So Osho, some of you might have read about him. He's a prolific writer, spiritual teacher. He talks about a story. And there's this enlightened Buddhist master sitting by the side of a lake or a river. And some guy walks over and says, excuse me, sir, could you in one word tell me the essence of your religion or what you practice? So the guy goes, well, I just asked you a question. And that's exactly what he did. Nothing. Okay? So I just asked you a question. Are you deaf of something? Are you deaf? What's wrong with you? The teacher looked at him and goes, I did answer you. In one word, it's silence. So this guy, persistent, not too smart. No, it's not clear. What is it? So the teacher wrote small letters, small word on the sand, meditation, in whatever language he wrote. Just small letters. Maybe English, who knows, small letters, right? Meditation. The guy goes, meditation. He looked at the teacher and says, it's not clear. Can you make it a little clearer? What do you mean meditation? The teacher wrote it again. Meditation. This time the word is like twice as big. Meditation. This guy, a little dense. It's still not clear. What do you mean meditation? The teacher, meditation! Like, even if a blind can see it. Okay? So he wrote big. It's just like, when you talk to someone who's doing sign language, it's small movements. When they're going like this, that means they're serious, right? So he wrote meditation in whatever language he's writing it. So this guy, who's a little dense, not little, I guess, at this point, he goes, are you upset? You must be mad. The teacher looked at him and goes, my first answer was already correct, but you were not satisfied. So the second answer was less correct. You're not satisfied. The third one is even less correct, and the last one is definitely wrong. In other words, silence was already the answer. When he had to write down meditation, that means he's, focusing on the form. Make sense? In other words, it's like, it's something already. You're grasping something. And this dude still didn't get it. So as he kept making it big and bigger, the teacher said, by the time I wrote it wrong as big, that's already wrong. Because at that point, you're making a god out of it. You're putting it on a pedestal. My first answer was right. And so the teacher says, silence Silence is the space where one awakens. Okay? Let me see. And the noisy mind is the space in which one remains asleep. If your mind continues to chatter, you are asleep. Okay, put things in context. When the answer was, that was already correct. When he had to put words into it, when the first answer was already correct, then it degraded the energy. So at that point, the minute you start talking, thinking, and doing all this stuff already, when it should be a time of silence, guess what happened? The mind is now chattering. So when you say the mind is chattering, what exactly does that mean? That means the soul is now focused on creating thoughts, emotions, and movement. Because your true essence is not your mind, your mouth, your body. Those are the expressions of the soul, the spiritual self. Because I'm moving my body, right? I'm thinking. Thinking means I'm creating thoughts using a machine called the mental body. When I feel something, I go, shut up! It says meditation, don't you get it? Sounds like Sesame Street. You get the idea? In other words, by that point, the teacher's getting pissed off already. Don't you get it, you dummy? At that point, what happened? The emotions were involved. The mind was involved. So it already degraded it from what? Pure essence of the spiritual self, which is energy. Do you get that? So at that point, it's inverse. Inverse means the more the chattering of the mind, emotions going crazy, the body moving, the more asleep one is to one's true self. As this goes down, the realization of who the I becomes more real. So when the emotions, the thoughts, and the movements of the body are more prevalent, whatever, in our lives, the soul is asleep. Because this runs our life. Only through silence, shut this one up, so this one is awake. Make sense? That's why in the case of the Buddha, the Lord Buddha, when people are worshiping, he says, no, don't worship me as a god. I am awake. In other words, when you start worshiping me as a god, it's just like the teacher writing big letters, meditation. It's like when you're God, you're putting the teacher above. So instead of realizing your real nature, you're now worshiping something outside of you. Does that make sense? Now, I'm sharing this with you because a lot of times we keep looking outwards for peace, for stillness, for spirituality, when in reality, it is your true nature. That's who you really are. It says like water looking for something wet. You get the idea? It's like, imagine you're made of water. I'm looking for something wet. You're looking for expansion, stillness, bliss, all this, whatever. That's your already true nature. You keep looking outside. You know why? Because most of us, most of the time, are asleep to who we really are. We get so fixated with our thoughts, your mind's going a million miles per hour. Emotionally, you get excited. Physically, you have to do something. So the attention is completely on the body, the emotions, and thought, and what's going on there. It's like automation. We talked about this the other day. So we forget, or we do not put attention on who's the one making these guys move. The I. Are you in so far? So it is the silence where you're not putting your attention on anything that your true nature shines through. That's why silence is so important. That's another reason, not the only reason. That's another reason why certain gurus, certain yogis take the vow of silence. To just put their attention purely on energy. Some of them is because the people they're talking to are boring. No, I'm kidding. It's like they're so busy about their mundane stuff. The teacher's going, this is not worth taking my time. So that's why they don't talk. It's just like, some people are so fixated. I shared it with this morning. It's like, oh yeah, did you know that so-and-so, this movie star broke up with that movie star? And now the teacher's going, who cares? What's that got to do with your spiritual development? So-and-so hooked up with someone, somebody hooked up with someone, somebody... Who cares? What's it got to do? Do you get more spiritually enlightened by, oh, by the way, I find out somebody has a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend. It's like, oh, wow, I'm now enlightened because of that? Man, you're lost. But that's society. You notice that? Those make big news. So-and-so married who? Who cares? You see, what happens is, when you fixate on those things, you know what's happening? It's just like you're focusing on meditation. You're making something that is material or the earthly substance as something more important. Right? When the teacher wrote big, he had to make it big so this dummy will get it. When in reality, the first answer is correct, which is silence. So when we do our meditation, it is very important to understand, and I'll cover this again when we have the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul class. Meditation is very, very important for us to be able to set aside this thought from this thought and put your gentle awareness on what's in between, which is the space. The what? The nothingness. That's why you talk to some Buddhist monk when they're meditating. When they finally talk to you, of course, don't bother them. They might smack you. No, I'm kidding. And they find, whoa, what are you meditating on? Sifu, what are you meditating on? Nothing. So, what are you doing? What are you meditating on? What are you putting your attention to? Nothing. So when you do that a few times, you're like that dude that kept asking the Buddhist teacher by the lake or the river, hey, give me one word that tells me about your spiritual practice or religion. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing means what? No mass, no matter, no thing devoid of matter, which is what? Pure energy. We talk about this in quantum physics, right? The space in between the molecules is empty, physical, devoid of matter. It's space, but it's made of pure energy. Nucleus, electrons, the space in between is pure energy. There's no matter in there. The nucleus, which is made of neutron, proton, which is made of quarks and something even smaller, that thing is like 99 point something percent empty space. But it's made of pure energy. Pure energy, no mass. I think that's what they call it, zero point energy. If you can harness that, that's probably what runs certain machinery in other worlds. But anyway, that is your true nature, pure energy. So when you ask the monk, what are you doing? Meditating on nothing? That means they're putting their attention on pure energy. Make sense? When that guy asked the dude, asked the teacher, give me one word. When the teacher didn't answer, it's like, that guy should have gotten it. Oh, the silence means you're not focusing on anything. Now, some of you go, oh, I get it. I get it. Good. Here's my question to you. If you do an inventory of your entire day, aside from your body sleeping, you notice I say your body, not you. Aside from the body sleeping, dozing off, how much of our day is spent on exactly. And you wonder why people don't have inner peace. You wonder why people go crazy when they have stimulus from outside. They don't have practice. They don't have practice in putting their attention on their true essence, which is pure energy. So the teacher was right. We keep going for what is the next best technique? What's a better technique? You can have 1,000 different techniques. If none of them involve silence, well, good luck. It's going to be a while before you reach there. That's why I remember my teacher used to say, you guys, he's telling us, you learn so many different techniques, huh? A lot of the yogis in India that have experienced enlightenment, their guru only gave them one technique. And they've been practicing for 30, 40, 50 years. Just one technique. It's not like they have 10 different techniques like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this to my chakra, I'm going to climb this dimension and that dimension, blah, 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 whatever. They could give them one mantra, or they could give them one breathing technique. And all the student does is use that as a stepping stone to get into that space of what? Pure nothingness. That's it. Now, of course, the different pathways will also determine how fast, how slow, and to what type of person it appeals to. Certain meditations appeal to a person who's more mental. Certain meditations appeal more to people who are more devotional. So that's why there are different ones. But the objective, initial objective, to experience that nothingness. Because that nothingness is the foundation. Why is it the foundation? Because it's knowing who you really are and what you're made of. That's just the stepping stone. Most people think, yeah, I experience bliss, stillness. I get experience the sense of who I am, pure energy and light. Okay, don't get too happy. That's just the foundation. That's the starting point. I know, but to the general public, that's like, hallelujah. But your standards are higher. Isn't it? Otherwise, you won't be here. Otherwise, you'd be happy with, okay, I'm a little happy, I'm a little quiet today, good enough. Why are you still here? Because you're striving for more. That's the same thing with me. When I was learning stuff, there must be more. There must be more. And luckily, my teacher, Grandmaster Tswakok Sui, is a spiritual scientist. Not only he's enlightened, he also understood the process of getting there. And he was able to break it down into protocols or formulas that any of us could follow step by step. It's just my job, since you already left the body, to kind of share it with you in a language that you understand, so that once you get a taste of who you really are, a being of pure energy, all you got to do is strap on booster rockets and take off. Now, we're going to do a special meditation tonight. Well, of course, all of them are special, right? Because if it gets to where you want to get to, it's special enough. But before we do that, I just want to point out the other side of the coin. Spiritual practice is not just doing meditation, experiencing silence, stillness, and all that. That's not the only thing that qualifies as spiritual practice. That's just input, inhaling. You also need output, exhaling, or what you call doing service. So it's so important that we realize, because some people, that's all they do. They meditate, they chant Om, they chant this, they chant that, but they've never lifted a finger to help someone in need. They've never given money to charity. So they're just like literally inhaling. At some point they will quit, because otherwise they explode. Now that said, India still has their struggles. Just because it's not in the news doesn't mean it's not happening. You see, there's so much information pouring into our news apps and everything, right? That we think just because it's in the news, oh, it's fixed. You really think that hundreds of people dying every day in India suddenly stop just because it's not in the news? Or Brazil or other parts of the world? It's not. So I encourage you, highly encourage you, go to, if you don't have anywhere that you give to, go to mastercode.org. We have a page there specifically to help not just India, but Brazil and other places of the world who are affected by the pandemic, by political unrest. Okay? I don't get a commission. I don't get a referrals fee, none, zero. So before you start thinking that way, I don't get anything. It's just that a lot of you ask, and we did our best to vet a lot of these places that make sure the money's going there, not going to the CEO's pocket. So you can go there and help. Now, one of the things that just happened very, very recently, I come from the Philippines, okay? So one of the things that we're taught in Kri Shakti, the science of prosperity and abundance, the spiritual science of manifesting prosperity and abundance, is knowing where to give. Okay, and I'll just point that out a little bit. If you go to Dr. Jones for an examination or something. What do? On your way out, you pay Dr. Jones. You're not going to go, thanks, Doc. You walk out of the door, go to Dr. I don't know, give me the name, Dr. Lee. 2 doors down, knock on the door, and pay them. You go, what dummy would do that? Well, this guy helped you, not that guy. Same thing with spiritual practice and giving money to charity. You go to a temple, a church, a mosque, a synagogue. Your priority in giving is that church you go to or that spiritual center, not that little church in the end of the street that's starving. You want to help them, that's great, but you don't give to that one, and the one that you're eating, you're receiving benefit, you don't give. That's called the negative karma of ingratitude. I'm sharing this with you because, I come from the Philippines. Obviously, the first how many years of my physical life was there, and that's where I met my teacher and all that stuff. So recently, they had a big fire in the Philippine General Hospital. And I forgot the number, but something like 40, 50, if I remember, operating room equipment were burned. Plus, a lot of the facility was burned. They're not only handling COVID, they're handling other things too. So someone reached out to me and said, would you ask the community if they want to help a little bit? So if you want to, you don't have to. You just go to massacre.org, or you can go to Love for Humanity, love and then for humanity.org. That's the organization here in California where a lot of you have given already. They basically give to India, they give to Brazil, they give to wherever that's needed to be able to help and do service. Okay? So if you don't mind, that'd be wonderful. We're here to practice spirituality, and ultimately, the effect of spirituality is we realize we're spiritual beings having an earthly journey, and we're one with all spiritual beings. So we're all interconnected. And if there's a need, we do our best to help. Okay? So we're giving. You're welcome to give if you want to. You're under no obligation. My teacher will always do this. He'd say, these are the places that need help. If you like to give, great. But it is your choice. Okay? So I'm not pressuring you. I'm not one of those guys, if you don't give, like I've heard some people say, if you don't give, you're robbing God. Have you ever heard that before? I'm going, on what planet do you come from? Everything is God. How could you rob God? But they use that as a guilt trip. You guys are adults, not children. I don't need to use any tactics for you to open your heart to give and share. So you decide. All I do is bring it to the table, let you know where the need is. It's up to your heart chakra, your crown chakra, and your basic chakra to give or not. Okay? So, very, very important. It's called love, okay, for humanity.org if you want to. And then if you go to massacre.org, there are other places that serve other places in the world that are in need. Okay? So remember, spirituality involves what? Meditating, doing spiritual practice, that's inhalation, and giving and sharing, which is exhalation. You need both. All right, and when I heard that one of the major hospitals in the Philippines that serve the poor and everybody that's in need, had that happen, I have to do something. So I hope that some of you will share that care and passion to be able to service. If you want to, great. If not, whatever. All right. Now, let's do our meditation. We'll do it slightly different. You guys ready? Let's ask for a blessing. To the Divine Supreme One, Divine Father, Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, we humbly ask for your blessings. To my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Mahaguji Meiling, thank you for your wisdom, your help, your guidance, help, and divine protection. Thank you for your compassionate, purifying light and soothing, healing energy. In full faith, and so it is. All right. Okay. Let's see how high we can take you. Rule number 1, no expectations. Just flow with it. Because I read some of the comments says, I've been meditating with you for a year. I'm not seeing the light. I'm not experiencing this and that. Look, you put your attention on the practice. Those things will come when the conditions are right. Your objective is not to experience those things. Your objective is to do the practice. the soul will do what it needs to be done to have you have that experience. Okay? Otherwise, you'd be like me when I first started. Yeah, how come all my colleagues are experiencing this light, this brilliant light? They're feeling this. I feel nothing. And so at some point, you get pissed off and you quit. Well, I didn't quit, but I was going, okay, let's meditate. So the more they have all this experience, the harder I try. I want to have that bliss. I want this. I want that. And guess what happened? Clear? Until one day, I told you guys the story. I just gave up. I said, whatever. I'm just going to do my job because I'm doing my meditation, not so that I'll experience all those things. I was doing my meditation crazily, as in you're supposed to do it once every 10 days or 7 days. I was doing every day because I had one objective. At that time, I was already teaching. I was doing a lot of healings. And I remember one thing my teacher told me. He said, if you want to be a good teacher, not only do you need to have the information, you have to have the energy to give to the students so they will learn. Because knowledge alone is not enough. You need to give them energy to allow them to experience their higher self or allow them to expand. And when you're healing, obviously you need energy. So I thought, well, everybody else could experience all this bliss, all this love, and all this great, wonderful stuff. I don't. Who cares? I'm just going to pile up on energies to make sure that when I teach, I can unload this on these people so they can learn. All these patients, these clients, I can unload the energy so that we heal. Good enough. You know what happened? When I gave up trying, poof, then I experienced stuff. So, okay? Just want to put it out there because I know some of you have commented, yeah, I'm not feeling anything. So the more pissed off you get, the more you won't feel anything. Okay? So just enjoy it. My attitude at that time was, at some point, it's like, whatever. You know, my number one mantra, Om, whatever, Om. That's what I did. And at some point, yeah, man. Got it? All right, let's do it. Put your hands on your heart. Tap your crown. I am that. I am. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotion. I'm not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am that. The soul, the spiritual self. Now just be still. Just leave your attention on the crown. Just be aware of the crown, nothing but the crown. Just silently say, I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I, the soul, the spiritual self, exist independently of the body, the emotions, and the thoughts. I am that. Now, in front of you, imagine you're looking at your body, like you're looking in the mirror. Just observe. Just watch. You're watching your body. You're looking at your body. So you cannot be the body because you're observing it. Just say, I am not that body. I am the observer of that body. That is my body. I'm observing it. Just like you're looking at your clothes, you're looking at your gloves, you can look at your shoes. You're looking at something that you wear. So look at that body, just say, that is my body. But it's not the I. Just observe. Just be still. Now observe the facial expressions of your body when you're feeling happy. What does it look like? There you go. You're looking at it. Ah, that's my face when I'm feeling happy. Okay, good. Okay, what does the face look like? Body expression, body language, body expression when I'm angry. When I'm feeling angry. Just look at it. Ah, look like that. Ugh, ugly. Okay, just look. Just observe. Ah, that is my body, and that's what the facial expression is, and those are the feelings that I created at that time. I'm observing it, so I could not be those emotions. Interesting. Just observe. Just say, these feelings, these emotions are not I. They're not me. Just observe it. Now, what's going through your mind in those times when you're happy or when you were angry? Just observe. Look at the facial expression, body language. What's that guy thinking? What kind of thoughts going through that guy's mind when, or that woman's mind when he's happy or she's happy, sad or angry? Just observe. It's like watching someone's life. I just say, very interesting. I'm observing these thoughts that go through this person's mind, so they could not be me. So just say, I am the mover of that body. I'm the feeler of those feelings and the thinker of those thoughts. I created that movement. I created those feelings. I created those thoughts. But those are not the I. Who am I? Be still. Pull back your attention towards the observer. You're watching the body, the feelings, and the thoughts, right? Now I want you to withdraw from it. As you're withdrawing, you sense like you're withdrawing somewhere. Something like feeling backwards, but at the same time, not just backwards, but going to a certain center. Keep going. Just ask the question, who am I? Who is this observer? Who moved that body? Who created those feelings? Who created those thoughts? Who is this creator? Who is this I? Be still. As you ask those questions, just let go and don't care. Just say, whatever. I already asked the question. Just let the answer come to you. Who is the mover of that body? Who is the feeler of those feelings? Who is the thinker of those thoughts? Who am I? Be still. Withdraw your essence inwards. Be still, be silent, be aware, and wait. Remember who you are and where you come from. Be still. Meditate and allow your consciousness to swim in that nothingness now. Just let go. Any thoughts, any feelings are just your creations. Just watch them and let them fade away on their own. Go back to who is the thinker, who is the feeler, who is the mover, who is this I? Dive deeper into that question. Search for the true self. Be silent. Let go. Maintain that stillness. Maintain that expansive awareness. And let go some more. Allow your expansion to grow even more. It's just like releasing smoke from a bottle. It just comes out, gets wider and wider, higher and higher. Every particle of that is your consciousness. Just let it float, let it expand. Bigger, wider, higher. Like water vapor joining the atmosphere. Just let it be. Now. Let go. Allow your awareness to dive into the universal ocean of consciousness. An ocean of brilliant light, pure energy. Dive in and let go. Now. gently, very, very slowly. Slide back gently into your physical form, your emotional form, your mental form. It's just like wearing shirts, pants, and shoes. Slide back into your physical form now. Move your fingers, move your toes, slowly come back. Raise your hands in blessing. Let's share this love, this oneness and stillness with all. First, visualize your family, the people you love. Fill them with golden light. Let that golden light spread to your relatives and friends. Let it spread to the people you work with. Let it spread to your city, your state, your province, your country. Let it spread throughout the entire earth. Flood every person, every being with golden light. May all of them be blessed with good health, with happiness, with prosperity, and with spirituality. So be it. So be it. So be it. Now be aware of your feet and the base of your spine. Project golden light downward. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, and divine power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, and revitalized. Blessings be to Mother Earth. So be it, and so it is. By blessing Mother Earth, it grounds you, it helps you come back to your body. You have to come back to your body. You have a destiny to fulfill. Blessings be to all. So be it. May all be blessed. So be it. Okay, let's give thanks to the Divine Supreme One, Divine Father, Mother. We thank you to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints of all traditions, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Maha Gujime, thank you for the blessings, in full faith, and so it is. Alright, how did you like your meditation? That silence was longer than most of our meditations. I hope you guys are okay. Now, it's common that some people, their mind would wander. So it's the same thing as you look at the cloud, you look at the sky, you're going to see clouds. You don't stop the clouds, do you? You just watch them. Okay, nice cloud. Whatever. Next cloud. Whatever. Blue sky. Get the idea? So hope everybody's alright. I know it went very deep. So after this, make sure you get up and do your physical exercises, again, to assimilate that spiritual energy. Let me let you in a little secret. Real power does not come from movement. Physical power does, but not real universal power. So when you're very, very still, that's when massive amount of spiritual energy pours in. It's like a waterfall pouring into you. It's inverse. The more you're moving, the less of that pours in. The more still you become, the more that pours in. That's why I've shared this with you last week or the week before. When you're meditating, if you start noticing that you're moving around, whatever, gently, the key is gently put your attention in meditation, let the body become still. Otherwise, at some point, it will disturb that stillness or that silence. Okay? Just an inside tip for you. Now, if you notice you're swaying like this, a lot of times because your crown's so activated, that's why I go, oh yeah, man, right? So it's good because a lot of us who are too mental, just to be able to go, yeah, like, oh, it's a big deal. Like, yeah, that's great. That's good. But at some point, you have to slowly make it still. Otherwise, you can only go so high in vibration. The body will disturb you. Okay? All right. I think I've done my job. This Friday is the emotional healing and prosperity healing. Okay? Anchor the light. So 10 a.m., 6 p.m. spacing out here. Saying 10 a.m., 6 p.m. And next week is the full moon meditation. Okay? Next week is Gemini full moon. Remember, Aries full moon is to prepare. Vesak full moon last month is to get blasted with energy and contain the energy. This month is to share the energy. So that's next, I think the 25th. Anyway, we'll post it. All right? And again, if you want to, Love for Humanity is there, and the other charities that we have on mastercode.org, or you can go straight to Love for Humanity and give and share what your heart guides you. Or actually, to be more specific, what you, the spiritual self, are guided to do. Okay, namaste everyone. Oh, one last thing. Just remember, I know a lot of you are going to be with me this Saturday for the Psychic Self-Defense class. Please, 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 the ones that are going to be there, make sure you have a bucket of salt water, because we're going to do a lot of cleansing. We're going to teach you how to remove negative connections from people, and you don't want to just toss it in the air or give it to your neighbor. You want to make sure you have a bucket, okay, maybe this much water, okay, and then a handful of salt. Regular, cheapy salt. Don't go buy expensive salt. You're just going to go throw crap in it. Okay? So a handful of cheap salt, rock salt, table salt, just a handful of it. Put it in there. Have it next to you. So when we do the practice, you can dominate it. Don't be tossing in the air. I've known some people did. No, I don't do that. I let it transmute in the light. Yeah, right. You want to create psychic pollution? Go for it, buddy. See, this one, I don't have to think about it. The salt and water. Dump it in. Done. I mean, if you're Catholic, you already know holy water is essentially salt water and the priest pray on top of it. The raw material is the water to absorb the negative energy. The salt is to break it down. That's what it's for. Okay? I think that's pretty much it. I don't have any announcements. So again, next week is the full moon meditation. I think it's Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, at 8 p.m. California time. So that should satisfy most, except Europe. In Europe, you just stay up. Come on. It's the body that sleeps anyway, not the soul. So what's one time out of the month that you stay, let your body stay up to do your spiritual practice? All right. Namaste, everyone. You all take care, and we will see you Friday morning.